What's up, guys? Welcome to Hellstorm Wargaming. And I realised display capture's on. God damn, we're so close to greatness. Double J, hooray!
So I was waiting for you to go episode. Oh God, I don't know. 28, by the way. But no, we've got this instead.
Why not?
I'm waving at myself now.
Moon Tynid just subscribed. Absolute legend. Thank you very much, Moon Tynid, you absolute legend. 32 months in a row. 32.
My word.
That's
commitment
insane.
right there.
That is pretty much since the start of Hellstorm.
Either that or he's forgotten to cancel it 31 separate times.
Maybe. I probably would have blamed the guy, to be fair. Welcome, everyone. How is everyone doing? Imperial Bunker, thank you for the host. What is this cloning heresy?
Hey.
It's because we got some pictures. We'll like sneak peek of the first one. So what should have happened is I go, oh, and game one you played. That's cool, yay! But I forgot, so I just left it on. Welcome everyone. This is the pre-show before we actually get into the pre-show, which then we actually get into the show. So welcome everyone. Make sure our sound's okay. So hi Jay.
Hi Mikey. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm very good. I'm very tired, as some people might have seen my
National Rail. Not great.
Some people might have seen my tirade yesterday of why are all the trains cancelled? It's only a little bit of rain, and then something about trampolines. There's something. There's like a news thump article, and it was like everyone has either gained or lost a trampoline today.
Brilliant.
Including most of the train tracks.
My next door neighbour has lost half of a fence today, which means that I have unfortunately gained half of a fence today, and I've given that back soon. So.
Brilliant. Mikey will have a snack review. We don't have a snack review, sadly. Jay, we need to kind of bang our heads together and work out how we can do that, because I have snacks.
We could review cheeses.
We could review cheeses, yeah. But I do have snacks. I can't get to them because there's this mystical white wall that's in the way that's actually green, but you can't see that.
Nice.
But I can't reach. But
nice.
I do have
All
snacks.
I've got within reach is PVA glue, and I got told off for eating that when I was about 7
I
years
also
old,
have
so
PVA glue, so we could try it.
Wow.
But yeah, so is the sound okay, everyone? Is everything all right?
To be honest, Mikey, there's no way on God's green earth I'm reviewing a thick white paste on the internet.
Why not? We can both do it at the same time. I'll gargle it if you do. I'll gargle it if you do.
Snowballs.
If you're just talking about alcoholic drinks, you can talk about blowjobs on the internet, right?
Probably.
Whilst remaining relatively family friendly.
Well, that's the thing. It's a bit like The Simpsons, right? Where every now and again you get a joke, and the parents go, "I can't believe they've just said that," and the kids just go, "I don't get the joke."
Yeah, they're just repeating it, thinking it's funny, but they don't get it. If you want a PVA glue review, then it's on my fingers. There you go.
Mine's on my desk.
Because I've been trying to build
and in the bottle.
I love Game Map, but this is just my attempt tonight because I'm so tired. It's just a pile of crap with glue all over it. Buy some like GameMap.eu terrain because it's lovely. It is really good. I'm just an idiot tonight. I'm just so tired. I was like, Jay, I've got 5 tables of terrain to build before Saturday, and Jay was like, oh my god, and I was like, I'm building terrain right this second.
I've just finished building terrain.
Yes, you have. You got some very snazzy terrain. Hashtag foreground. Hit me up if anyone's got a link for foreground or knows anyone from there. To tell them to hit me up.
Start tagging them in your.
Yeah.
Well, we could tag them in the show notes or whatever. Right?
Hashtag foreground. Hashtag property market.
So,
we need to get the
foreground official. I think is their Instagram handle.
Hashtag please support my events.
Please sub.
Please sub with terrain. Yeah, I'll give you a free sub if you give me free terrain. That's a fair. Adam Jones says I'll hook you up. You absolute babe. Yeah, hook me up, bro. They look awesome. Jay's just been showing me. He's been saying it's beautiful, and I think it is as well. So it'd be really nice for bat reps. So
yes, it would be very nice for bat reps. But I can go on record right now saying Adam is a boss, and I've never seen anyone work that hard whilst also simultaneously that hungover and that tired.
Wow, I was about to be offended, but then when you said hungover, I was like, fair. Fair play, Adam. Adam in the chat who's just run the Beachhead Brawl. That's what we're going to be talking about this evening. So thank you for tuning in, dude. Obviously, we had Adam on the podcast a few weeks ago, which is cool. We gave away some free tickets to Beachhead Brawl, which is pretty cool. Hopefully, it looked really good. I said we're going to do a proper thing in a minute, but hopefully I'll be able to make the next one. So get in touch with Mad Gaming Terrain as well. Really love their sets. Thanks, man. I'll check out. I'm going to write that down.
Matt, I saw you had a YouTube video about that just went up recently, so I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but definitely something to take a look into. Mikey says he'll give free sub for terrain, puts bottle on table.
No drinks on that!
That's a banning.
That's a peddling. And then Warden, I'm making notes, is Mad Gaming. Is it?
25 tables at a foreground terrain. Holy shit.
See? Adam is Bay, foreground terrain.
Nice. Nice.
I'm slowly working through 14 kilograms of packets. Brilliant. I was going to say, because I would say to Jay, I've got all this terrain to build. Like the game mat order came through the other day, and it was just absolutely horrific. I think I showed you. Did you see the price? Because I sent the price to the event chat.
Yeah.
And I was like,
screenshot of your payment.
Yeah. I was like, it was like people going to tournaments. God, event organizers make so much money. Actually, event organizers, it's just a ridiculous amount to buy terrain. I just sent the number, and it was basically four figures.
It was close enough. It may as well have been. Yeah.
And that was for 10 tables, which is actually very reasonable. So
yeah, it really is. Is that terrain and mats?
Yes, it was. It was 10 of both.
That's
really good.
Really good.
So yeah.
That's
anyway,
really good.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, guys, run an event, get some terrain.
That's it. Yeah, just run an event and make all the money they say.
Exactly that. Just bank everywhere.
My credit card's shaking in its boots every time I talk about battle mats. Like, no, please, no. Yeah, I can imagine that. But that's the thing. Like, again, we're on a tangent now, but oh well, it's the pre-show. Like, you can spend the first couple of events, you'll always lose money, and then it'll break even, and you're like,
yeah,
praise the Lord and the Emperor and anyone else who's listening, because god damn, we finally made it.
Praise everyone that bought a ticket.
Yeah, exactly. It's only ever since we started having dumplings when we start breaking even. So I mean, they might line up.
That's the key right there.
Praise Helix. Yeah, was that Twitch plays Pokemon, the Helix thing? Do you remember that?
No.
Oh, there's a guy
get into Pokemon.
There's a guy who built a Twitch bot that scanned the chat, and essentially they had the Twitch chat playing the game.
Wow.
He got so busy that he had to have like a voting system where if the same command got 30 votes within like a minute, then it did that command. They've done it loads. They've done it like with Super Mario, done it with like Super Mario Sunshine and stuff, and then they did it with Dark Souls as well, which is hilarious.
Oh my god, I can't see that going well at all.
It didn't. It did. They gave up eventually. No. It like gets super popular, and then if it works, like Pokemon, they finished it. Because the Helix thing is basically that emote is from the Helix thing, because they released released every single Pokemon except for an Omanyte or something like that.
Oh right, okay.
There's something really good. Just loads of shit happened. It was really fun. Like, but then there's like other ones where it's like Dark Souls, so it's like, haha, this is really fun for like 2 days, and now I'm bored because I can't get up the ladder in the tutorial area.
Wow.
So welcome everyone. There's the pre-show. Moon Tyranid will update us. Can you, whilst we're doing the podcast, can you tell us all about like each like key moment in the history of Twitch Plays Pokemon whilst we're doing the show, and people will just be like, what the fuck is that going about in the chat? Thanks, Moon, I love you. All right, shall I make a start?
How's it going?
I realised that was mostly me, but now I'm trying to get us back on track. But there you go. Are you ready to start, Jay?
Absolutely, brother.
Fantastic. Welcome to the Hellstorm Wargaming Podcast, number 28. Number 28, got it right the first time. And I didn't cut out. I didn't even cut anything out this time like I did last week. Those listening on the podcast wouldn't have known. But welcome everyone. Welcome to the Hellstorm Wargaming Live Podcast. We record this Monday night, every Monday night, kind of. We might have to skip one. We might have to skip another one next week. Maybe we might have to do a pre-recorded one. But we have a podcast every Monday night at 7:30 UK local time, depending on what time of year it is. We haven't currently done BST, but we might do one day if we keep going, Jay. If we keep working hard.
We can do it, Mikey. We can definitely do it.
My goal for the podcast is to make British Summertime.
That's a lofty achievement that we're aiming for, and I'm glad that we have not set the bar at a level that is unattainable.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe.
Yeah, so they're my two goals. Obviously, it's the beginning of the year, so I'm obviously planning the channel's goals this year. So my first goal is to make British Summertime with the podcast being weekly. That'd be really cool. And I'll eat pineapple on pizza when we reach 15,000 subscribers.
You've eaten pineapple on pizza?
Yeah, but it's gross though, isn't it?
I've made you pizza with pineapple.
Don't tell everybody. It's gross.
But you've had that. And you enjoyed it. You had seconds. Wow.
I've been watching this YouTuber. I've been watching him for years. He's called Davey504, and he's a bassist YouTuber. So when I was into bass and I was in a band and stuff, I was watching him a lot because he just did bass covers. Now he just does memes and bass covers, which is just amazing. So I just can't stop watching him.
That's exactly your thing.
Yeah. So we'll both do a pineapple eating pizza reveal when he reaches 6 million subs and we reach 15k. I think that's fair.
Nice.
Do a pineapple and tuna pizza.
Oh, I'm down.
15,000 subs, everyone. Let's go. That's the goal.
So, what was your thing that you were going to do when you had 1,000 followers?
I don't think.
I'm sure there was a thing that you were going to do.
I don't
think that's happened yet.
I think I was very ill during the time.
Can anyone in the chat remember what Mikey said he might?
If anyone says it, I'm going to ban you.
That's fine, guys. I'll find a way of unbanning you.
Kiwi and strawberry pizza.
Kiwi and strawberry pizza can just die.
Sorry, Moontoon. Song requests are off today. Sorry. Well, welcome everyone. Back on track to the podcast. Today we are going to be talking about Beachhead Brawl, which is the most recent large event, the first large event in the UK ITC, 100 man. Or is it 92 that finished, which is pretty good. Less than 10% dropout. So thank you, Adam, for those stats that I stole on Facebook comments. 101 registered, 92 finished. I'm almost professional. But if you're watching live, then thank you very much. But if you're listening back on the podcast on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, Podbean, website, some Russian,
all of the things,
Russian video stealer things, then thank you very much.
Tin can and some string, could be anything.
That's it. If you want to support the podcast, you can support by watching. You can tell your friends. You can tell your friends about Jay, and Jay will tell them about the podcast. You can subscribe to Jay on Twitch. You subscribe to us on Twitch. You can also subscribe to hellstormwargaming.co.uk. You can also support the GoFundMe, which is currently running because we're trying to get a better camera for live streams, which we're doing very soon. Like next weekend, we're going to be, me and Jay and Elliot are going to be in Prague. I'm letting Elliot out of the shed for a little bit.
I have to look after Elliot on a plane, though.
Yeah, you do. We're all on one row as well.
Same way that they did on the A team, and we can give him a hot dog that's been laced with some kind of sedative, and then I ain't getting the playing fool becomes just okay.
Okay, Daddy. Well, we have an entire row to play on, so we'll be all right with extra leg room for all three of us. So we're going to be in Prague, streaming the Prague Open, which is Game Mat's premier event of the year. Their one and only big event. Probably the biggest in Europe of the ITC season, because it'd be like 150 players, I believe. Currently, anyway. Yeah, obviously, this season it is only a month into the season, but so that's their big event. And then the week after, we're streaming Newcastle's Majority T3's Northeast Open, which is in Newcastle. Open. So we're trying to get a cool camera for that. So if you want to help out with that, that'd be amazing. Lots of people have donated already, so I want to say a massive thank you. That's really cool of you. But anyway, the actual podcast. So Jay, this weekend,
howdy.
How did you?
We went to the amazing Beachhead Brawl down in Bournemouth GT, which is at the Beachhead show, which was a big convention that I had almost no time to go and take a look at, which is a shame.
Fantastic. Too hardcore playing Warhammer.
Exactly that. It was all about the 40k, and if I had spent time at convention, I wouldn't have had any time to do things like eat or have 2 minutes between rounds to take a piss or whatever else needed to be done. So
I always find that's a bit of an issue when you're playing a 40k event. Is there's just no time to do anything else. It's play, eat, play, pee, play in that order.
Pretty much exactly that order as well.
So, like there's some
that's
events.
One thing about getting older and going to tournaments.
Like, for you, it's
pee.
It's pee, play, pee, play a bit more, pee, eat, pee, have a sit down. I found out, I didn't realise how old Jay was until he sent me his date of birth earlier for a passport check. And I was like, yikes. I'm only kidding.
Yeah.
I'm only kidding.
I look about the same age as you, which is, 12.
Yeah.
So all is good. But anyway, back on topic. Did go to the Beachhead Brawl. It was an amazing event run by Adam, who's currently in chat. So, hey, Adam, thank you very much for running that event. You're an absolute boss. And like I said in the pre-show, one of the hardest working people that I've ever met that can also work through an epic hangover. So congratulations on that front as well. It was a 6-game ITC major, which is really important. We don't get that many 6-game events here, especially of that size.
No.
So in terms of farming ITC points, that's a massive thing. So if you guys are into competitive 40k, go and follow them on all of their social medias. I think it's at 40k Brawl on Instagram, Facebook, all the usual.
I think on Twitter it's 4Brawl, because that's what it auto-corrected it earlier. 4Brawl.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe Adam can confirm in the chat and I will correct it. It's quite funny because I was tagging Art of War the other day and they've got Art of War 40k and Art of War 40k 1, and guess which one they use? Obviously not. Obviously the one with the 1 on the end.
Yeah.
But no. I mean, fair play to Adam putting on such a big event, so early in the ITC season, really under the spotlight, and having to work with Dean. Just kidding, I love Dean, he's a legend.
And Adam's right, there was no drama at the event. There were some dropouts, which is unfortunate.
It happens.
And we'll go into that a little bit later on because I was due to play one of those people that dropped out.
Yeah.
But that's just one of those things that is at any event. There's going to be some of that for some reason or another. Family emergencies and stuff just happen. So
yeah, there you go. So Adam says we're about to launch a new Facebook page. So dude, if you've got any details, do drop them in the chat. We'll make sure we repeat them for our audio listeners. But I think Jay, we should make like a segment on the podcast. Well, not a segment. We should have a standard when we've been to an event, a major in particular, because we won't do it for RTTs or little GTs because they might not have it yet. But we should like have certain like criteria that they have to hit, and we should rate them on. We should review events like we used to do food reviews. So what was But we should come up with it. So we're just going to spitball. I'm going to spitball more in particular.
You ask me questions and I'll give you my rating.
Okay, so
out of 5.
Out of 5, right? Okay, what were the chairs like at the tables?
Oh, that's a 4.
That's a 4. Oh, okay. Why is it not 4?
Yeah, they were good. They were comfy, man. Yeah. They were like nice padded seats, padded back.
Nice. Nice. We're asking the important questions.
They weren't too low, so your knees weren't taking it when you're getting out. There's no as you get out your seat or anything. So yeah, that was fine. So good chairs.
So Adam's at like giving some pointers, but I feel like everyone's going to be asking these questions, so we're going to ask the other questions, right? Right. What was the bar like? Was the bar good? Was it well priced?
So, in terms of selection, as far as the average person goes, I'd say you could give that a solid 3.
A solid 3. So it's a normal venue bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it cans or was it
prices? No, it was on draft.
Okay,
so that was fine.
Okay.
But I bought 2 pints of beer, a packet of crisps, because there's only so much you can eat when you're gluten intolerant. A little pack of like mixed dried fruit. And that was £12.60.
Oh, Adam just put in the chat £4.60 a pint. Right, Adam, here's some constructive criticism. Yeah. I want to see sub £4 pints. Sub £4.
God, the last time I paid £4 for a pint, it was better than that as well. So.
I've just been to London, man. I went me and my girlfriend have been in London, and like we got in on Saturday night. It was like, oh, let's have a drink in the hotel bar. We got 2 gins.
Oh, at a hotel bar as well.
2 gins, one of them being a double. Oh, it was
20 quid.
It's 30 quid. It's 30 quid. I know. And she's probably watching, and she knew I was going to bring it up, but there was a 12.5% service charge, and I had to pour my own lemonade into the gin. What am I paying you for?
I can't believe they put a service charge in your bar drink.
I know. It was really funny. Another situation that happened, that someone bought a bottle of water at the bar, like a fancy glass bottle of water, and they got a service charge as well for getting it out of the fridge.
I'd have told them to stick themselves to serve it at a bar. Right, my rant. Whenever you go to a restaurant or anything like that, the cost of them serving you is included in the price that you're paying for the meals and your drinks.
Yeah,
100%. I used to run restaurants. I know that for a fact. If you feel the service went above and beyond, then by all means tip your waiter. And I strongly suggest people tip their waiter and waitresses. They rely on that.
Yeah.
But don't
put it on my bill.
Just grabbing a bottle of water out of a fridge, charge me 12.5%. That's I can't say that on the podcast.
Adam just said, I paid £24 for a gin and tonic a few weeks ago, a single. Did you also get robbed when you did you give them a 20 did you give them a 30?
It was £4, they dropped £20.
Well, that was quite funny, because when me and Manny were in Vegas, this is a really funny story. Me and Manny from Glasshammer were in Vegas, and we bought, we were with Nick and Tank, and we were with Alex. And Nick was a bit drunk, and he offered to buy everyone a drink, but me and Manny were talking, so he didn't buy us one, right? So we were like, okay, we'll buy our own, and we bought 2 rums, and we'd not bought alcohol yet, so we I paid. I was like, Manny, don't worry, I'll pay, and he was like 60, and I was like, okay, and it was like
what?
It was like 60. And I was like, I think he said $22.60. So I gave him 20, and then I was like, oh, I think I've got a $5 or something. And Manny was like, oh, I've got a 10. There we go. Well, he's like, I'll just keep the change. And he was like, thank you. Are you sure? Thank you. Do you want me to break it down for you? And I'm like, no, it's fine. It's like, oh, thank you. And then realised he said $12.60, not $22.60 afterwards. Because I was like, how much did your drinks cost? They were like, oh, they're about $6 each. I was like, God damn! So I paid $30 for a $12 bill.
I think you meant there was $60.
No, damn. It was $12.60. We paid 20. We thought he said $22.60 or more, so we gave him 30.
Right. That's terrible.
So yes, tip your waiter.
Tip your waiter. Yeah, I think your waiter might have given you his tip, but my God.
Yeah, exactly. He was just loving it. He was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, don't worry, bro. You can keep the $2 change or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, so seats were good. Beer was expensive. Was it warm?
Yes, it was. It was actually on day one a bit too warm. So you've got 140k players packed into this convention hall. You've got a load of people playing other games. There was Sigmar, and this was epic. I didn't get a chance to have much of a look at it. I wish I did. They had a game of Adeptus Titanicus, but played full size.
Wow.
So there were Warlord Titans, there were Reavers, there were Warhounds, there were Knights, there were Armigers everywhere. This thing was played on what looked like 20-foot by 10-foot long thing on the floor.
Nice.
It was amazing.
Yeah, so using the Fordrell models, the Fordrell full scale 40k models, that's really cool.
Unbelievably cool.
Awesome.
Then it had the convention going on and everything else. So by the end of day one, I desperately feel like I needed a shower. It was a bit sweaty. Day 2, they did open some doors, and because day 2 was Hurricane Zelda or whatever storm is going on right now here in the UK, it was pretty blowy at times. But that was good though, because it kept the temperature okay. And as long as you're playing on, say, the top 5 tables, it was a nice warming environment. So it gave you more incentive to do well.
Brilliant.
Which is good.
Okay, final question out of 5.
Go on.
How well could you hear the TOs during the briefings? I feel like I'm asking mostly questions that are the issue at my events, so it's actually
5 is like hearing the voice of God in your own head or something like that. and a 1 is hearing a mouse squeak.
Okay.
I'm going to say it was around a 2.5.
Wow, okay. So, like,
because
a little boy whispering at you.
I was sprinting towards the briefing after dropping some models off in the painting contest that was at the convention. And I had to get right up close to be able to hear. So that could have been maybe like a megaphone or something like that. That would have been useful. But hey, it was what it was.
Well, there you go, Adam. As you were listening, there's some constructive feedback about certain features of your event, and we'll have a more constructive, better laid out question or criteria that each event has to hit for the a Hellstorm Wargaming live podcast approval of you should go to this event. But overall, out of 10, how much did you enjoy it?
Up 10.
Big
Absolutely.
Fat 10.
Had a blast.
Stamp bash. Boom. There you go.
I don't. Is that the Hellstorm seal of approval?
I need an animation.
You need the old.
Yeah. If anyone is watching Navy 504, they could just slap like. I just want to give a massive shout out to Moon Tony, who's currently going through the key events of Twitch Plays Pokemon in the chat. He's been doing it for the past half an hour. I was only joking.
This would be important later on. What the absolute hell?
So what we'll do is we'll talk through your 6 games. As you said, it was 6 games. Yes. Epico indeed. We'll talk through the 6 games, and then we'll talk about how you placed, and then we'll talk about how the winner got on, because we actually managed to speak to Vic, who Nightmare, thank you for the follow, who's changed his ITC team once again to Dice Down.
Yeah,
because he cannot make up. I think it's whoever's at the event is like. The thing is, I don't think this is the reason Vic's doing it, but there is like some sneaky stuff you can do with BCP. So a lot of people don't realize that if you have a team on BCP and someone else is on the same team on the first round,
you don't get
it shouldn't pair you if you're a teammate. So there's a lot of hushes and whisperings at the LVO of basically everyone from England all put Glasshammer because one, they could win the ITC team event, but also no one wanted to play fellow British for traveling 2,000 miles over the Atlantic.
You didn't want to go to America and just play English people from, say, Bristol,
right? Or from wherever Alex lives these days. Yeah, so
that's that is something you can do with the app, and
yeah. So if you're going to an event and you don't want to play someone, just put their team down and pretend it's because you like them.
I'm helping you out, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I know what you're doing, you sneaky.
Anyway, so back on track. Game 1, Mr. J, Mr. Mohawk.
Absolutely. So should I tell everyone what I took? Because that won't take very long.
Of course, yes. So talk to me about your super duper extra long list of 4 models, 5 models.
5 models? God damn.
5 models.
So, as everyone knows, I play Knights pretty much exclusively. And when I play them, I only play Knights. I don't soup anything in, although I have plans to add a few bits just to help make them a bit more competitive. So, I take House Crashed because I think it's all round the best house. If you're playing pure Knights, you get the extra buff in combat. You've got additional things that you can buff yourself with the shooting. So, you get reroll 1s, you get extra damage against vehicles and Titanic, which is great. But my list is very simple. I have 3 Crusaders, all of which have the Ironstorm missile pod for indirect fire, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Knight Paladin, which normally, and pre-points drops in chapter approved, I would take with the battle cannon and the fist. But after the price drops, I could fit in the Icarus autocannon array on top of his head. But I'd have to change the fist to the sword. So that was... The fist gives you a load of utility, and it gives you the threat of death grip, which is massive. But I thought I'd rather lose that and have some anti-flyer, knowing there's going to be a lot of planes at the event. People taking Iron Hands with at least 3 flyers now in almost every list. And then I took a Helverin because they are unbelievably good, and people ignore them at their peril.
Yeah,
that thing scores me so many points every game. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's like if your opponent rolls badly, they are so damaging. It's only -1, but if you fail, rip.
Yeah. Flat 3. Like, oh, you've got an aggressor? No. Oh, you've got some destroyers?
Just die.
Not anymore.
And it's just a load of shots.
They're brilliant.
It's a Thunderfire.
Importantly,
it's a Thunderfire worth of shooting, but it's 3 damage. It's banter.
Yes. More importantly, though, it moves 14 inches.
It does.
And it has a range of 60.
Yeah.
So you get hold more often than you should do by having that in your list. And that's the reason the Paladin's there. It's 2 guys to sit in the back. Yeah. The Paladin's got a great big sword. So if you want to come and have a go, all I've got to do is land 1 hit and you're dead.
Yeah, he's also got feet.
Especially if you're a single character.
He's also got feet, which is the only weapon knights use. The sword just rev it. They just like, and then they stamp on you while you're looking at the sword.
I did use the sword literally twice in the entire, but that was both games he did get into combat, to be fair, so I can't really claim that.
Yeah.
But that was my list. Very simple list. It does what it does very well.
Nice.
Game 1.
Game 1.
I got to play somebody I've been waiting to play for a very, very long time. So this is one of the guys from the Alliance Open, so big shout out to them. It was Dick van der Haast, who is right there on the screens now for those of you watching. And Dick has a beautiful Tau army. He's painted this in about a month, maybe 6 weeks. Loads of airbrush work, which obviously I'm a big fan of. Loads of oil washing, again, big fan of that. And his list was pretty horrendous. That was kind of the way I was thinking of building the Tau army I'm looking into prior to the new book coming out, which has just changed quite a lot of things.
Certainly has. If you want a catch-up video, we have done one with Richard Siegler and another, which is cool.
Yes, you have. And that's good. I watched that earlier on today.
Thank you, man. As you were.
3 Riptides.
Yeah. With
the burst cannons, as you'd expect. 3 broadsides with all of the missiles. Something in the region of 40 drones, of which at least high 20s were shield drones.
Yeah.
Shadow Sun, a regular commander with a lot of fusion guns, and then a team of Pathfinders with all the drones that they could possibly have.
There you go. If you're watching live, then you can see there's just an L. There's some monster cans. There's 3 Riptides and a crap ton of drones surrounded them.
It's just drones.
Charge
everywhere.
This, bro.
Yeah. So that was not going to be part of the plan. Was charging that Tau castle.
No. It's also got a grav inhibitor drone which reduces your charge range. So good luck. Which is this one here. Watching live. Which is this one here.
So Dick, if you're watching, brilliant game. Thank you very much, man. Really enjoyed it. But this game, I think there are 2 good tournament lessons to be learned from. Spoiler alert, I did win the game. The way I won the game, I'm not overly happy about, but it's a valid way to win a game. Dick arrived at the table.
So I've just seen Adam Scott Jones, 160 monster cans at the event. Many years have been lost. Fair play. I think I do that in about a week, so I should probably buy some of that terrain.
Nice. Well, there you are.
Sorry, go on.
Also,
okay,
that's not healthy.
So we'll all laugh. And now, Jay, tell me of the controversy that you committed.
It wasn't controversial. Dick arrived at the table with literally minutes to spare before the start of the first round. Okay. So we did all the preamble, the usual stuff you talk about, like what's in your list, and we're setting up the mission. Dick still got his army in boxes.
No. And
so we start the game. I play every game at an event with a chess clock, just because if I need to leave the table for whatever reason,
no field bans after.
Influence my opponent. It's on me. If I want to spend 10 minutes thinking about something, it's on me. So it protects my opponent. But also, it obviously protects me from the same thing. So
you're playing a full model army. You shouldn't run out of time. So you're just giving your opponent the fair.
You say that. There's a lot of thinking, because every decision you make when you're playing just knights, you have to be absolutely right every time. Otherwise, you lose.
Yeah, sure.
You've got no redundancy essentially. So we started the clock. We're doing a deployment, and it's I go you. So we're sort of flicking the clock back and forth. And at one point, I say to Dick, "Look, we've got a couple of minutes. Why don't we just pause the clock? You can get all your army out of your boxes, stick on the table, and then you can go through." And he's very valiant. He said, "No, I need to learn to be quicker," and so on and so forth. So it's fine to keep it going.
Yeah.
which meant, unfortunately, Dick didn't start his first turn until he'd burnt about 20 minutes off the clock.
Yeah, which isn't good in the
So
six.
Kind of see where this is going, right?
Mm-hmm. It's also, to be fair to Dick, it's a new army as well. So
yes,
he's practiced,
that doesn't help either.
But it is a new
army.
army.
This was his first event, and his first real game with all the models. He proxied a few before, but first time doing this live, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
He had first turn. I was perfectly fine with that. I'd hidden as well as I could with my knights. We got as much cover as possible. I wasn't expecting to lose anything. There you go. There's a picture right there on screen of a building with 3 knights just hunkered right in there like sardines.
I think Dick and Jay have been taking similar lessons in deploying in L's. just hide. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Exactly that, right? I've got indirect fire. He's okay.
Mine's for AP. Yours doesn't. Mine ignores cover. Mine doesn't.
But the point of me doing stuff like this is narrowing down the amount of angles that you can shoot at me. So he's going to then maximize every single time he moves to get the right angles. That takes time to calculate and work out. I lost a knight in turn 1, and I basically slowly chipped away at Dick's drones throughout the entire game. I put Marked for Death on his Cold Star Commander with all the fusion, because if he wants to throw that at one of my knights and kill a knight, cool, I'll kill you back and I get a point for it as well.
Yeah.
I had Big Game Hunter. I had Marked for Death on the Riptides as well. So all 3 tides and that. So I was hoping to kill all of those throughout. And that just means if I can shoot through the drones and then get lucky here and there, then we're on to a winner.
Yeah.
What eventually happened in the game, though, is we got down to a point in time where there was 40 seconds left on Dick's clock. And I had 18 and a half on mine.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the biggest lesson I learned at the event. Never, ever, ever interfere with a chess clock at all. We had a quick look to see what time was left in the round to make sure we could fairly distribute the time amongst ourselves. And it turns out that Dick's watch might have run a little bit slowly because he said, we've got an extra 5 minutes. So I put 2.5 minutes on both mine and his clock.
Right.
Then, literally seconds after doing that, one of the TOs came over and said, 20 minutes left in the game. Down the clock. So it was right before.
And now you've got more than 20 minutes on the clock.
So I said, okay, so can we just take the time off? And the answer was no, from both my opponent and the TO. So, all right, cool, that sucks. And if that's just cost me the game, that really sucks. But never mind, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I did more of what I'd been doing. I kept moving away, cage, have to spend time and moving everything else, and then rolling shots and everything else, and then rolling savior protocols takes time. And Dick clocked out on his turn 4.
Right.
Which meant that then I could play the game that I wanted to play, and we charged at the Tide Castle, because you can't overwatch there. Murdered some Riptides, killed some commanders, got a load of points, and then swung the game from being about 5 points behind to being 2 points ahead.
Yeah. So,
not an ideal win, obviously. But it is an event, it's a tournament, and you've kind of got to take it that is a valid tactic.
Yeah. It's a real shame that, like, not to sour your win at all. It's a shame that it had to come to that, but I mean, the reason the chess clock is there is for that reason, because if not,
exactly.
Because we both like Dick, let's take Dick out of the equation. You're playing someone who's using 500 Orc Boys, and you're playing Knights, you take 20 minutes for your turn, they take an hour. You take another 20 minutes for your turn, they take another hour. You're at the end of the round, you've really got 2 turns in. So that's the reason chess clocks are in. Again, because the fact is that the Tau wouldn't have been charged had the chess clock not been there, but you also don't have an unlimited amount of time.
Yep.
So, so it would have been a different result. But, I mean, there you go. It's like, you live and die by the clock, quite literally in Dick's case.
Exactly. And like we both said, it protects both players. It's just a matter of efficiency and making sure you get them.
Yeah.
But either way, very difficult game for us both.
We love you, Dick.
Definitely. I'm not going to repeat that, though. It's a really It's a shame, isn't it? You know?
It's just one of those names. We'll just have to call him Richard. I know that's not his name.
Richard,
but...
absolutely. Well done, Rich.
Well done, Richard. Richard van der Haast.
But anyway,
we should give him. I've got an idea. We should name generate him a name in the Tau book.
Well, we've missed it for Rich now, but we could do that for my next opponent. So I went from playing Tau with 3 Riptides, tough game, to playing Tau with 3 Riptides.
Yay! Who is this?
This is my next opponent. This is Stu.
Hi,
was an absolute boss. One of the friendliest people I met at the event.
Sneaky Whitbread as well next to your head.
Yes,
Sneaky Whitbread next to head.
There's a lot of people occasionally caught in the background shots. Everyone.
Yeah.
Like my next opponent was right behind him as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
James Pilkington.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
The giant.
Yeah. I apologise for Jay's audio. It's because we're on the internet using Discord, so it's never going to be perfect. It's slightly clipping out, that's all. There's nothing we can do about it.
Okay.
So just talk really slowly.
And then hopefully we'll have slightly better sound quality from there.
Yeah. It's just because internet, data package transfer, yada yada, stuff that people don't care about. One of those, yeah. Oh, look, Riptides. Hooray.
Riptides. 3 Riptides.
Yeah.
3 Commanders, though. No broadsides. Some Fireside Marksmen.
The Siegler.
It was almost. There were no Pathfinders, which I know Rich takes.
Okay.
And there were 3 Fireblades.
Are you on first name basis now, Rich?
Well, I feel he's been on your podcast, so yeah, why not, right?
They'll start calling him Dick Siegler next. So.
Brilliant. It's been more than one of his opponents has called him that, but in a kind-hearted way.
I love you, Richard, Mr. Richard, Professor Richard. Carry on.
Senpai Rich.
Senpai Rich.
Loads of Riptides.
Yeah.
The thing I looked at this list the most and was like, oh Christ, was there were 56 drones.
Ooh.
56. There was loads of units of 2. Some big units with a mix of marker. And I thought, right, okay, it's going to take me 3 turns to get through all. Because with knights, you're like, I'm going to fire an Avenger Gatling cannon at this unit of 2 drones.
Yeah.
That's a feels bad moment right there. But we were having a good game. It was quite close. He castled up and he stayed in his castle, moving drones out to hold the middle objective. So on ITC scenario 2, cut to the heart, where the bonus is hold the middle objective and your opponent's
to the middle.
Objective. Cut to the middle. Yeah,
it's only it said once. Cut to the middle. Sorry, carry on. That's interrupting.
It's all good. So he stayed in his little box and sent out units of 2, advanced them to the middle objective.
Yeah.
Which I couldn't quite get to. Not easily, and keep cover, and keep the lines of sight to some of my knights as a minimum. And I needed to do that until I'd taken out some of his offensive firepower. Mm-hmm. So he kept getting hold more. I kept getting kill more because it's easy to do with tiny units of drones.
Yeah.
And eventually got to a point where I thought, right, okay, there's not a lot of drones left. We've done a little bit of damage to Riptides. I've killed a Riptide. It's a lot safer now to charge because it's spread out a bit. There was not everything was within 6 of each other, so I could charge.
Was he using Tau sets? Sorry,
he was using Tau sets.
So
yeah, which makes it obviously very, very risky to charge.
Yeah, sorry, carry on.
If I charged, I'd get to a Riptide and a Commander, and if I only declared the Riptide, only those 2 would Overwatch.
Yeah,
I thought, okay, that's fine. We can do that. Do I need to rotate on the way in? I thought maybe, but we'll try and do it without. Mm-hmm. So I charged in, 2 hits, 2 wounds, 2 failed saves, 11 damage to my knight on the way in.
No.
So it was still on his top bracket, which was nice, but
no, rip.
Got in, smashed a Riptide up, got it down to I think 5 wounds, some unfortunate wound rolls. Was what it was. Oh no, it was hit rolls. That was it. He threw a grenade from one of his Tau dudes,
which reduces
-1 to hit.
Yeah. It's like photon grenades or something like that.
Photon grenades. That's it. So I was hitting on 4. my hit roll, I rolled 5 3s, and when I rerolled my misses for Crass, I rolled 2 more. All right, this has not gone to plan right now. But we made up for it. His next turn, he fell back from combat, shot that knight to pieces. Now, one of the things that I'm always kind of insistent upon at an event is once a model's moved, it's moved. You can't ever put it back to its original position. And especially if you've made rolls on stuff, that's it. It's final.
Yeah, it's really funny. I would just put it in that because there's nothing that says in the rules that when you moved it, it has to stay there as long as it doesn't end its move more than wherever it started.
Yeah.
But nothing defines when it starts and ends it moves. Only like logistically, well, not logistically, like realistically, you should say that once it's moved, that's it. But especially if a dice roll has been made.
Yeah, big time. And I think the rules do clarify by saying, you can only move your units one at a time. Mm-hmm. Each unit only activates once in the movement phase, stuff like that. I think that covers it essentially. Yeah,
maybe that's something that should be addressed because no one plays it that way. It's just
like I say, and I explain this to all of my opponents at the start of every game. Two things: dice, if they're not flat, they're cocked. If model's moved, it's moved. That's it. Mm-hmm. So he just moved his last commander. He's going to the shooting phase, and I went, "Oh, it's a good job. You've come nice and close. Blow up in a minute. I kill all your stuff." You went, and just had a little bit of a "oh god" moment. So he moved his last commander back and said, "That's fine, but you can't move anybody else." I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm just within 9, so I can just get the double damage on the melt, and I think I'll be safe from explosion."
Oh, famous last words.
So when my knight inevitably died in the face of 3 commanders, and 2 riptides,
did it just so happen to blow up?
When you spend 2 command points to make that a lot easier,
did it just so happen to roll 9-inch range?
It rolled 10.
Just to be sure.
So Stu is stood there at this point going, and
clear distress face.
Managed to catch one of my knights and did 2 damage to it. It caught both units of drones that you had in the middle and killed both of those outright.
Nice.
And because, and this is, it's not the way it's meant to be, but it's the way that it was. The rules pack at the event included the judge's FAQ from the LVO.
Yeah.
And in that FAQ, it said the Ethereal's aura is an aura on the Ethereal. That's it.
Yeah.
So what happened then was after we killed all the stuff in the middle, I said, right, now I'm going to Ethereal's mortal wounds.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 6. The Ethereal made his feel no pain rolls, and he didn't roll a 6. Okay. And that was the end of that Ethereal. Which meant then there's no aura, and then we started killing everything else. Yeah. So there were no drones.
So just to clear up that little interaction, so currently the Ethereal has Sense of Stone, which is an ability. So all units within 6 gain a 6 up feel no pain. But it doesn't really define the way it's worded. You could play it either way, but the way it's worded, it seems to be that you trigger the ability at the start during the movement phase, and then a unit that was within 6 gains that ability. That's what it says. It gains that ability. But LVO, so basically, you could have a Riptide within 6, go stone me, boy, and then it does, and then he moves away more than 6 away. And he still benefits from the 6 up feel no pain that the Ethereal provided. However, the LVO Judge's Pack, which is something that I've adopted as well, it says that the Ethereal basically only provides that ability whilst they are within 6.
Yeah.
So this means that if the Ethereal dies, then the other units that were currently within 6 lose that ability, or if it moves away. But more crucially, if it dies from an explosion. Just to explain that reaction, so for people at home who might not understand what all that like, I know what it means because I but you guys at home might not know. But there you go. So the Ethereal dies, and then everyone else who's still within 10, who Jay's yet to roll for, just goes. So if you could just roll a 1, that'd be great. Obviously,
that's what they're hoping for.
That's what they're hoping for.
Firesight Marksman. Yeah, they used to exist. They don't anymore.
I do not.
Cadre Fireblades. One of them died. 1 on a wound. 1 died to 3.
Nice.
All of his commanders took wounds and were down to like half health suddenly.
Amazing.
and I still had 2 full strength knights and a Helverin at that point. I'm like, well,
Did the Riptide die that was on 5 wounds?
Oh yes,
nice. Just to check.
It was good.
Just wanted to check.
So yeah, that was a pretty tasty explosion, and that ultimately, whilst I was gaining a little bit of a lead, that meant I cemented my lead, and that was it. We were away.
Nice.
Nothing was gonna stop me from winning that game then.
Okay.
So that was good.
Wicked.
Great game. Thanks to Stu for being an awesome opponent.
So what we say is, to beat
Brilliant.
Tau, we do an okay boomer, and then we win.
I literally won your event doing that. So.
Yeah, you did. The same army, the same colour army as well. Nonetheless, blow everything up, out for the best, and the win. So there you go. Yep. Sorry, Simon. So there you go. So
that was game 2.
2 wins in the bag. How many points are you on at this point, roughly? What sort of wins have you got?
I think it was on 56, 57, something like that. So
okay.
2
a 20 and a 30.
Nothing crazy wins.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So then game 3 of 4 on Saturday.
Game 3 of 4 that day. So 4 games in a day.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely fine with, because my brain goes constantly. I can't turn that off.
You're a machine.
So I'm fine with that.
What you're saying is
people that were struggling.
You're saying reject the flesh, embrace the machine, aren't you? That's what you're saying.
Yes, we'll go with that.
Cool. Good idea.
Yeah, I am slightly robot.
Yeah. So then you play the tallest man in 40k.
I played a literal giant. Yeah. And James is a very, very good player.
Yeah.
I looked at his list.
Bristol.
Yes, he did.
Bristol Open, or whatever it was called. The one in Bristol that me and you went to, where there was a convention.
Bristol City Open.
Bristol City Open, there you go. That one.
Fortunately, I didn't have to play him.
I did. I was using Repulsor spam with G-Man, and he was using the latest hot custody bull crap garbage.
Yeah.
Cherry cheese,
all the
underpointed Calidus and Talamon banter list.
You were playing Repulsor spam with G-Man, and you're questioning your opponent's cheese. Let's gloss over that,
I wasn't
right?
using Forge World, which is clearly broken.
You had a Leviathan in your list.
Did I have a Leviathan in my list?
Yeah, because I couldn't kill it turn 1 when we played.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I used 1.
That's right. That's your defense. Yeah, that'll do, right?
I just had...
How many do you own?
So you played James.
Yeah, I played James, that's right. And when I looked at James's list, I got to admit, I thought, right, cool, that's it. I'm out of the game. Can't win this. James has got a disgusting list that works especially well against my army.
Yeah.
He was running the Raven Guard as a successor chapter.
Okay.
With the extra range.
Long range marksmen.
Artisans, that was it.
Master
so the reroll.
Artisans, so 3 reroll hit and wound per phase per unit.
Yeah. So the Raven Guard super doctrine is, if you're in a tactical doctrine, you get +1 to hit and +1 to wound versus characters.
Oh no.
And I have almost every game 3 knights that are easy to target and are all characters. So bolt guns wound me on 5s, anything good wounds me on maybe even 2s.
Wow.
So that's just hard right there.
Mm.
But James's list was 2 Thunderfire cannons, both kinds of whirlwind, not the Scorpius one, the normal one, but with the 2 different missiles, the little ones.
I can't remember.
Vengeance and something else.
Launcher. That Vengeance Launcher. Yeah, so it's 2d3, strength 7, -2, 2 damage.
Yeah. And then the other one was 2d6 shots at something like strength.
Strength 6, -1 and 1 damage.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. Either way, it was winning me on 5, so I didn't really care.
Yeah.
All
falls.
Then he had some scouts, 1 unit with shotguns, so I automatically loved it. As you can see on absolute F-ton of Centurions.
Brick.
There were 2 units of 5 that had melter guns.
Yeah.
And 1 unit of 6 that had flamers.
Nice. Bearing in mind that the melter guns are 15-inch range at this point, so they're double damages at 7.5.
Yeah. That didn't come into play, fortunately, but kind of unfortunately, because he did the job of 15 inches.
Nasty stuff. There they are, getting lurking at the L.
There they are. God, it was horrible. Watching them come out of the
some
building.
more coming around the corner. No!
So we had, at the start of the game, we actually grabbed the judge quickly to clarify some of the terrain. Anything that's not in the book as terrain and has a specific set of rules is basically just a hill of some description. Mm-hmm. And there's rules for being able to place models because you can't balance them on stuff that they can't balance on.
Yeah.
And I thought, right, just in case there's a siege, because currently I was going first. This was fine. Mm-hmm. Just in case, I will put 2 of my knights on those stack of monster cans. So you can see on the screen right now, at the very end of the table, there's two cans with the ladders on the top. I literally put 2 knights, sort of front to back, on top of those. And I said, right, okay, so your Centurions can't fit there. So if you get first turn coming out of nowhere and you've got Shadow Step and all that stuff for your characters, they just can't be charged. We got a judge to clarify that, and that was the ruling, so cool.
Okay, that's interesting. Carry on and I'll explain why.
Yeah, I get both sides of it, but it's just they shouldn't exist in the game. They should have rules for all that kind of crap. Anyway, I had first turn. There was no C's. I moved sideways up the board, and knowing that I had 2 turns of movement and shooting to try and at least get a couple of kills and get kill more a turn or 2 before the Sense came in, I basically padded out my side of the board as much as possible, trying to keep things back. I also tried to make sure that the only way, if he wanted to deploy within 9, to be able to deny me any Overwatch before he charged in with the horrible punching power of those Centurions.
Siege drills.
Oh, they're grim. -4, flat 3. It's gross.
Yeah. El Chavez, thank you for the follow.
If he wanted to have the minimum possible charge distance, he'd have to deploy in the open.
Okay. So that's why you're quite far away from those big L's.
Yeah. So we get into turn 2. I do my movement. I do some shooting. And James says, do you mind if I go into the tactical doctrine now? And it's not really a feels bad moment, but it kind of is. When you're at an event, especially if you're on one of the sort of top-ish tables, and I think this was something like table 10, I can't remember, I kind of expect my opponent to know their rules. And to know, like, I have to do this at this time. And I said, well, look, I'll tell you what, I'd rather you didn't, because it delays you for 1 more turn, absolutely smashing my knights.
Yeah.
But I think we rolled for it. I said, look, on a 4+, you can have it.
Yeah.
It wasn't such a feels bad moment, but it almost was.
Yeah.
So for any player that's got a plan, either declare it at the very start of the game. So in Game 6, my opponent and I, he said, look, I need to get to this doctrine as soon as possible. So even if I don't declare it, I'm declaring my intent now, which is ITC intent declaration. That's fine. Turn 2 tactical doctrine, turn 3 assault doctrine. There we go. We both know it's on the table. So just do something like that if you want. Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm gonna raise a point that I raised at the beginning, and then I'll talk about that as well. So the interesting point about standing on the hill to say that you couldn't be charged. At the LVO, they actually ruled in that if there was anything that, especially for infantry, if there's anything that you did to stop something charging or extending the charge distance that would be against, I think they could kind of put, like, if it was against the narrative of what would happen, then you could
putting bases between spaces and walls and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So basically they said that no models could exist in a wall. So when you place your model, if you're going through a wall, this is your wall, you have to be on this side or you have to be on this side, unless you were charging. Because what you found is people would play an inch, just 1.1 inch gap from the wall. So you got your wall here, you got your gap, and then you place the models. So if you've got 32 mil base, which is more than an inch, you can't charge on the outside of the wall because you're more than an inch away, and you can't exist in the wall, and you can't be placed because you're on top of models. But then they said you can't do that. You can't deny the charge. They would just make it you place them as close as possible. So it's interesting that you had it ruled where you couldn't be charged on top of the hill if it's Centurions, especially because they are infantry as big as they are. But there you go. I mean, it's just an interesting point.
I guess it was just because it was a hill rather than because it was a flat area. I don't know, but that was what the judge said. So that
but ITC does have wobbly model. If you can't physically place next to your model in a charge, as long as you make the distance, you place as close as possible. There's like a diagram.
You still need to be able to be placed somewhere.
Well, no, there's a diagram with an arrow that says it's a contemptor on a box, and it says that we are on the floor, but we're actually hitting you on the box. So
fair enough.
If you don't know, you don't know. And
I didn't know.
You
guess
had
the
a
judge was incorrect.
You had a TO ruling, so it doesn't matter what I say. It's what happened. They said you can't be charged, so that's how it played.
Well, more importantly, now I know for next time. So that next time. I know that I can't try and do that to stop a charge.
But also, you can't. Other people can't stop you charging. So if you got infantry.
Well, they can because I'm not infantry. So.
Well, if you've got infantry, but yeah, and the other thing,
giant robots. What do I want infantry for?
Yeah, it's just something. I mean, there's some lich guard and there's a contemptor or something like that, and there's a big arrow saying we're fighting you up there. You can't run away or something like that. So
fair.
I just thought I'd raise that before it got too far ahead. But
no, definitely worth it.
Yeah. The other thing, they're not going into tactical doctrine. I mean, it's one of them. It's kind of expected because it's Raven Guard in your knights and your all characters, but also it's a tournament, so you kind of need to remember.
Yeah.
So I could again.
Declared intent and intent are two different things.
Yeah.
If you forget to do something, you just forget. So
yeah, because I mean, if you've got a Thunderfire cannon, you might want that to stay in Devastated Doctrine, for example, because it's -2 and it doesn't ignore cover. But realistically, you do want your Centurions in tactical. So, but you need to declare it.
That was that, and we rolled for it. And there was a few things that popped up. Like, didn't roll litany stuff like that a couple of times. Yeah. And after the third time, I said, "Right, that's it. I'm not going to remind you anymore. It's on you now, brother. You know,
exactly.
Give you plenty of hints. So
you can only be so nice when there's a dead Tau trophy in question.
Absolutely. My army's got a lot of disadvantages, so it was still going to be a foregone conclusion. Now, when the Sense came in and they're on the street now, oh my god. Absolutely there was a unit of 5 with melters right in front of me that had range on my wall, which was a Kingslayer target. Mm-hmm. There was a unit of 5 behind that had range on my headsman. My first Knight Hashcrest. I took that and Endless Fury because I figured that I just needed the extra Daka to try and get through the Sense. And then there's a unit with the Flamers looking at the other Knight there at the side.
Yeah.
They turned up. And he said, right, I'm going to fire 8 melter guns at your Warlord and 2 melter guns at that one with Headsman's Mark.
Yeah, why not?
I went, okay, cool. I'll rotate on the one you're firing 2 melter guns against. And he stopped. He was like, what? I said, yeah, I'm going to rotate on this one. Went, are you sure? Yeah, 100%. I'm firing 8 melter guns at that one. Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Because I figured, that's the Kingslayer target, right?
Yeah.
He's going to put everything into it till he kills it regardless. So that shield is just going to delay the inevitable.
Yeah.
What I could do is put on a different Knight so that lives for a lot longer.
Yeah.
And go from there.
Makes sense.
And yes, he absolutely crucified that Knight.
Yeah, not something a lot of people would consider either.
Yeah, so, that's right.
Out of curiosity, out of those 8 melter guns, how many 4-up saves did you roll instead of 5s? Can you remember?
No, but it definitely would not have mattered because the other unit also fired. I think there were 3 that were in range. So that was another 6 that went into the Warlord anyway, so it was not going to matter.
Fair enough.
He did live through the first batch and didn't live through the second batch. All the Hurricane Bolters went in as well, but fortunately, they're winning on at this point 5s, and it's a lot easier to tank that. But my god, the amount of shots.
Yeah,
the Flamer unit smashed into that Crusader at the back. The flames alone got me down to 3 wounds.
Wow.
Just so he charged in. He failed the charge against the Knight that's got Endless Fury. Endless Fury in Overwatch, for those, anytime you roll a 6 to hit with it, it counts as 2 hits. Mm-hmm. When you're re-rolling ones, you're generally going to get 2 to 3 6s out of 14 shots. I got a bit more than that. I killed 2 Centurions flat out in Overwatch.
And then they failed the charge.
The lot at the back tried to charge the same night. I killed 1 with a thermal, didn't kill anything else. They failed their charge as well. James was not a happy boy right now.
I'm not surprised.
The unit with the Flamers And that was after spending a stratagem that basically gave him like "here we go" or whatever it was that you could re-roll the charge. I think you had to re-roll a whole charge though, not one or both.
I think it's Raven's Fury. If you basically select an enemy unit, and if you only charge that unit, you can re-roll charges.
Yeah. Then he shot the flamer guys charged into that other Crusader and smashed the pieces.
This one up here. This is
the one at the back of the board. Yeah, that's right.
To the right.
I tried to use the strat to blow him up, thinking this is going to really help me out. Didn't get it off this time. Never mind. We got our mileage out of that last game.
Failure.
And this is where the game then got really, really interesting. So I had a Knight Paladin many. Well, no, he was on full wounds. A Knight Crusader alive on just above his top bracket. I had still a load of sense to deal with.
Right.
So we moved them towards the blob of sense in the middle, hugging that L.
Yeah.
So we were running away from the unit at the back of the board. Because as far as I was concerned, they could stay there for the rest of the game. If I can outrange them with their long-range melter guns and their 4-inch move for being Centurions,
they are 4-inch
even
move.
if they rolled a big advance roll, then I was okay.
Yeah.
So we moved in, we shot the pieces out of the Flamer squad and managed to kill every single one of them, which was really key.
Mm-hmm.
Then we made both charges into the Melter Sense in the middle. I managed to slingshot round the corner by using both the charge distance and then things like your pile-in move and so on and so forth to get right around with both knights, meaning that I was out of range of the guys down at the bottom and I was having cover. So when the Thunderfires then started to come in, because they're only -1 now, I'm still getting a 3-up save, not having to rotate and everything else against it. So we had a bit more survivability.
Yeah.
Over the next couple of turns, we moved up the board. I had only one knight left in the turn that had been ripped to pieces well before this. And my knight, I was up by a point, I think. So I was actually winning the game at this stage, which surprised both. I failed a charge, and the next turn I got shot. I didn't blow up. If I'd made that charge, I probably would have won by 2 or 3 points. Okay. As it was, I lost by 1 point.
That's not bad.
It's a really, really close game.
Yeah. What a great,
absolutely great fun.
Yeah. Sorry, just a question in the chat. Can you refuse to play with a chess clock if an opponent wants to use one? It obviously depends what type of event you're playing in, but if you're playing in let's say a standard ITC event, usually no. Because
if one player wants to use it, you have to.
Yeah,
currently.
Because realistically, if you say you don't want to use a chess clock, your opponent can start asking you why, and it creates weird questions like, "Why do you want to choose?" Well, I'm really quick. How do I know that? For example, that's usually how the conversation will go. I don't know you. I've never met you in my life. How do I know you can play your game fast enough?
Exactly. I did have one person say, "Oh, I'm not bothered about using one," and I said I'd rather we did, just because, like I said at the start, it keeps everything honest.
Yeah,
and just as well because that opponent had to take an AFK twice before the first turn had begun. So,
right, okay. Well, there you go.
That's on you now, bro. So,
okay, you take all the time you need.
Oh yeah, not an issue. Yeah. But that was game 3. We lost. Very good game though. Really enjoyed it. I love games that are that close.
Yeah,
they're just the more exciting.
Absolutely terrifying army as well. That many Centurions.
God, it's horrendous, man.
Yeah,
that's why I just looked at it. Like, all right, I'm over. Game is done.
Yeah, I'm surprised you took Master Artisans though, because like Master Artisans for each unit, every time it activates, you can reroll a hit and a wound. But like with Centurions, you've got that many dice.
Yeah,
I don't think.
I mean, the melter guns, I guess.
Yeah, melter guns, fair enough.
You still 10 in a unit.
I run flamers and bolters with mine. You got that many shots, and when you're in combat, you got like 20 odd attacks. Is one more going to make a difference? Maybe. But I prefer +1 to charge.
I guess.
I prefer +1 to charge.
Yeah, I mean, that would have actually definitely got him.
Yeah, just increase
both of those charges.
You deep strike. I got an 8-inch charge with a reroll now, not a 9. So
yeah.
But sorry, what
that would have definitely have got both those charges for him. I guess the other thing he has obviously shadow steps that get people around. Yeah, so you're then away from buff zones for things like rerolls for the lieutenants and whatnot.
Yeah.
So Smash Captain going is just a little liable, I guess.
Yeah.
Game 4. Now I was thinking at the start of the day, Game 4, I'm still going to be okay. I'm still going to be able to think at full capacity. And my opponent, I'm hoping,
Did you lie to yourself?
No, God, no. I wish I was. I can't turn my brain off. It's an issue. I basically tire myself out to the point where I pass out at night, and that's just my usual day.
Yeah.
My game for opponent is there's no picture of my opponent.
No,
because my opponent was shattered, frankly.
Just a picture of his golden custodies.
As soon as he saw my arm, he went, "Oh, you bastard!" All right, I haven't had that one before, but
yeah.
John was a great guy. He had 3 hours of sleep. He'd then played 3 games of 40k, pretty much back to back.
Yikes.
He was playing custodes with nothing more than strength 7 against just knights.
No.
And it was just a tough game for him.
What was his name, sorry?
John.
I love you, John. I'm so sorry you had to deal with Jay at round 4 an event on a Saturday.
Wow. Wow, you saw it.
I can tell how tired you are because this picture's well blurred. It's the only one you've got.
Yeah. Well, there were 2, but just my knight stood around a bike captain in the table.
Yeah, not bothered sending that one.
But yeah, great guy. He actually missed game 5. He was late for the event, so I hope he got some sleep at least.
Me, John.
But it was just one of those games where I was just playing and my opponent
rolling dice,
and that was that.
Okay.
So we ended day 1, 3-1.
Sorry, John, we love
feeling
you.
Okay.
I want to do an interview with John just about that game you had with him. See if he remembers how much he remembers of it.
I think all you remember is me saying several times, "That's 3 saves, John."
Sorry, no, it's
just
-4, not -2. Sorry, mate.
So,
yeah. There you go. Rest in peace.
Anyway, day
5.
2, I'm meant to be playing a guy called Mike.
This isn't Mike.
Mike
this is
had
Hodor.
a pretty brutal Iron Hands list.
Okay.
And unfortunately, Mike didn't arrive at the event on day 2.
Cool.
So I went from being on table 7, I think, down to table 23, where I got to play this absolute boss, Phil, who got my favourite game vote because he was an utter champ. Loved him to bits. He had Iron Hands as well, so we're playing Iron Hands to Iron.
Nice.
But it was 3 flyers, a repulsor, a Mortis character dreadnought with twin Lars.
Land speeder storms or tempest. Sorry.
They were awesome. I've never seen them before. Salvo launchers on those are dirt.
Yeah.
Absolute dirt.
Very dirt.
Never seen them at all ever, but they're brilliant. They can advance, and they can't shoot, so obviously got heavy weapons. But if they advance, they're treated as a flyer, but they can still hold objectives.
Yeah.
So you can move 35 inches. You get the supersonic rule, so you can't be charged, and you're -1 to hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Sorry, just
but against Phil.
I was just going to say, jump in chat before I get too in depth. Hi, Hiko FMP. Nick Highland says, interesting. As someone who's been slow played, I fully understand, but I've also never played with chess clocks. Does it limit the social interaction?
No.
I don't think it does.
I don't think so.
No, I think if you take it with the right spirit, it actually increases the social interaction because I like to aggressively but jokingly switch the clock over as fast as I can. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna roll some dice. You go. But you know, take it as it is, and you know, it's a game at the end of the day. Just pretend it's a toy, and you'll be fine.
Big time. And on that topic, I also think it because you're communicating faster and better.
Yeah.
So you can still talk about normal real life stuff and just random bits and pieces as you go in.
You're just slapping something in my games. You're just slapping something all the time. It's really fun. Like
that's right.
I think it was Cali Mayhem where I first used a clock because I was forced to in a top table. Because I always have one. I mean, I've only ever. I think it was the first time where I'd been asked to use one rather than the other way around. Because we were on top 8, you had to use one.
Yeah.
And Dave was like, "Oh, I don't really care." He was playing knights, I was playing repulsors. It was going to be a quick game. I was like, "Look, we'll just play it. Look, if you want, I'll do the clock for us. I'll just do all of the clock." So every time I rolled the dice, it was like, "Right, yours, go." Right, okay, Mike, go. I'm just going too fast. Bye. Just slapping this clock, just making a joke out of it. But like, yeah, it's there to protect you. I said sometimes it can be a bit feels bad, but also,
like game one,
you've both had like the same amount of time. If you can't play that game fast enough, then that's your problem.
Exactly that. You have a limited resource, which is time. It's fair to both players to have it.
Because there's lots of talk about how we can speed up games in lots of groups. Lots of TOs are starting to talk about it and bang those together, find out how to do it. But realistically, Neil just said it's like Bop It 40k. It's like Bop It 40k me with a chess clock. Bop it! Slap it! Sorry.
Don't twist it. It doesn't work.
Don't twist it, no. Your opponent gets annoyed because they can't see the time after that. But so there's lots of things that are trying to like, how can we speed up games? But realistically, we either need to reduce the points level to like 1500, or we need to play faster. And we just need. I think that's the best answer. Just play faster. Yeah,
exactly. Just learn the difference between playing with your army and playing your army.
Yeah.
Playing with it means you're doing everything with every shooting, you're moving, fighting, you're doing. Playing your army is about, this is crucial, I must do this. This isn't crucial, it doesn't matter. If I've got time, I'll do it. If I haven't, I won't. That's that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like learning to drive. You learn to drive a car to pass a test, and then you learn to drive. So everyone there has passed the test, but now you need to learn to play. And playing is playing quickly. There you go.
Exactly. So in this game,
back to the game.
Solid opponent.
Yeah.
Good army. Terrifying army list. Still, there's a lot of stuff there that can just take out knights very, very, very quickly.
What is this deployment, Jay? For anyone who's not watching, it's a knight just looking at a repulsor executioner like, hello.
Yeah.
Just like.
Well, I had first turn. There was so the. This isn't a criticism about the terrain at all, but something that I think a lot of people might have looked at the terrain and gone, this is going to be tricky, is whilst there was always some big line of sight blocking stuff in the middle of the stuff in your deployment zone was basically usually a corner ruin like that one on stream now, where you've got 2 floors to it.
Yeah, so like a 6-inch ruin.
And then opposite that, a lower corner, so just the bottom floor. 3-inch and then ruin. The inverse, the other way around on the table, so it was symmetric. Okay. And in the middle of each sign, another 3-inch ruin, but a little bit longer on both of the sort of L-shaped sides that it had.
Yeah, there you can see, if you watch the stream now, it's a very, very small L shape, which is just fit in a Thunderfire cannon and what looks like a 5-man unit.
There you go. And even that was only barely. So in your deployment zone, it was a little bit difficult to hide stuff. That shot there of Mike staring down the repulsor was me going, well, if he seizes, I don't care about the knight anyway, so that's fine. That was essentially what that was. That was a knight I could afford to lose.
Yeah.
But he didn't seize, which was good, and I basically abused the terrain. So I ran my knights right into the big L-shaped ruins. I made sure I moved them far enough away that even if he moved his repulsor, he wouldn't be able to get a double shot off. It meant that the las cannon dread that's actually hidden by that repulsor wouldn't be able to get a shot off. I focused on killing the flyers. I even managed to get a cheeky first turn charge against some put up right up against one of the ruins at the front. I don't think he fully expected me to be that quick and was cognizant of the fact I could charge through walls and so on and so forth.
Yeah, was that Eliminator? Sorry.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Sorry, you just clipped again. That's all.
But you had 2 units for the Eliminator.
I think that's what you did to me as well, didn't you? I hid some Eliminators behind a wall, and you were like, "Okay, I'm going to charge them and get close." I was like, "Great."
Yeah.
Pure banter.
Yeah, exactly that.
This was a terrible plan.
All about. Well, I'm glad you did it. It's anything that got me a kill. Damn things. It was all about hiding from the big guns. So it meant that when he moved, so it had to move 10. It could only fire twice. Suddenly, it's nowhere near as big of a threat.
Yeah.
I killed a plane, degraded a plane, killed the unit of Eliminators, and I rinsed the unit of the Intercessors, because that was the only target my Headsman's Knight had.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was just the way it ended up. So didn't have any extra damage against vehicles. He just pummeled the unit of Intercessors to death with him. So he moved his stuff. He got some part shots off. Didn't do a lot of damage at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then next turn we went big. We went straight for that repulsor. It took 3 nights to kill it because my hit rolls were abysmal.
Yeah.
But we did kill it.
Mm-hmm.
It
That's
exploded.
The thing with the repulsors, they are quite flimsy if you hit them with the right stuff, like metal guns and stuff. So
and those thermal cannons they should have just destroyed it, but my headsman's like re-rolled it because it was himself. Got a hit, felt a wound, something like that. It was like, all right, great.
Brilliant.
I just rushed out at you, and now I've realised that I should have maybe been a little cagier, but we were lucky. We did finally kill it. It blew up. He re-rolled it, and he took it off the table. And then the next turn, he said, "Oh no, there were 5 intercessors in that."
Oh no.
So I said, "Okay, that's fine. Why don't you just get them out where they would be? You know, it's no issue. I wouldn't have been able to charge him. I wouldn't have shot at him anyway because I'd fired everything else. So it's no problem at all." He said, "No, I need to learn from my mistakes.
Okay.
Like, well, if you're sure, mate, but I see it's no problem whatsoever. But he didn't do it. Okay. So turn 3 rolls around. I'm in a fairly dominating position. There's no planes. I think there's 1 plane left. The dreadnought is being hidden by 2 of those 2 land speeders.
Yeah.
And because my knights were down the left-hand side of the table for the most part, I knew if I killed those 2 land speeders, I'd be able to target the dreadnought. So we put everything into them, killed them both, then blew up the dreadnought in spectacular fashion.
Brilliant.
And that was kind of the game. Although I did make Phil then, in turn 4, outflank his remaining unit of intercessors that were in the repulsor, because at least then he'd have some more guns to try and get a kill, and he did use that to kill a knight. So
fair play.
Well done, buddy.
Well done, man.
There's Phil's bad moments, and then there's that.
Just a bit of a piss take.
Yeah. So that was game 5. So we're now definitely going positive, 4-2.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to go up to play with the big boys now on one of the top 5 or 6 tables. And I found myself at table 4.
Before you carry on,
we're
going to have a small intermission. I'm just going to disconnect you and reconnect you, and hopefully that'll fix the data transfer issue because it's just crashing out. So leave the call and then rejoin. Maybe that'll fix it.
Hello.
Maybe that'll fix it. We'll turn on screen share. Look, everyone can see OBS. Okay. And in the final game, we play none other than...
I can still see the screen share at the moment. Are you ready?
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Cool. Mr. Stephen Box.
Oops, that was not ready. Team Box!
Wow. Team Box.
Team Box!
Brilliant.
Nutritional expert, not a personal trainer.
Not a hobby expert. Nutritional expert. Big difference. Expert. Usually in the size of the arms.
Yeah, he knows what to eat. That is children for breakfast. Because he's a blood angel. And he
is a blood angel. So I looked at the list and I'm like, okay, this is a very, very aggressive in-your-face list.
Got a Sanguinary Guard and Death Company.
Big time. 3 units of Sangard, 1 with axes, 2 with 2 fists and a load of swords. Big blob of, I think it was 11 Death Company with 4 hammers. He had Astaroth. So there's a model in these shots that looks a lot like Mephiston.
Yeah.
It's not Mephiston, it's his converted Astaroth.
It's funny
got Astaroth's actual wings on the jump pack. So.
Yeah, and a new axe. It's funny because I commented on it and he was like, is this a good enough conversion for Astaroth on Instagram or something? And I was like, no, that is not Astaroth. That is Mephiston who's going through a phase. And it's like... It's like, no, it's definitely Astaroth. And I was like, okay, Steve, no worries.
I did keep wondering why he'd skipped his psychic phase.
I'm trying to play and do a meme, but okay.
Yeah, it was a bit confusing. But you had Astaroth, Lamarty, you had 2 ancients.
Yeah, that's been one of the ancients.
Only one of which that had a banner modelled on the model.
So we got this one. That's an ancient with a banner. As you can see.
An ancient with a banner.
Holding it down.
Holding it level.
But he is flying.
He's in a flying stance, so it's okay.
Which is okay. Where's the other one?
Can you spot the other banner? I'll give you a where's what style.
I'm going to say
I can see him at the moment.
The Sanguinor type model that's an ancient.
No, that was the Sanguinor. Just the Sanguinor didn't have his wings.
Actually, the Sanguinor. Okay, 1 second.
And neither did the Sanguinary Guard.
Well, that's kind of acceptable, I suppose, because they do break off a lot, and they do have the jump packs on.
They do have the jump packs.
I'd allow that.
Not wings.
Wait for it. Okay.
Oh, so... actually, is he on the screen at the moment? No, he isn't.
Let me go
He's
back.
Not on the screen.
Is he on the screen right now?
I don't know. I get like 8 pixels come through from the screen share.
Okay, so this is the first image that you sent me.
Is he on that one? No, but essentially it was a flying blood angel.
Spoilers.
Just waving a fist about.
Okay.
So that I thought, okay, well that's fine. If there's a moment where it's like, well, I should have been able to see a banner, we'll cross that when it comes to it. Mm-hmm. The first 3 turns of the game took us probably 10 minutes. Well, actually, no. Took me about 3 minutes and took Steve somewhere in a region of 15 minutes. Wow. Because I placed... We changed the scenery from what it usually is to how it was the default setup was to what we're at here, which was 2 L's in each of our deployment zones. So the big L's in the deployment zones.
Yeah.
And he basically hid his entire army in the L, apart from some scouts in the side building.
Okay.
And I wanted to make sure that I couldn't be charged out of Overwatch, and he couldn't place a unit that would be in a building where I wouldn't be able to shoot at it. Mm-hmm. So I set up my knights around the L in my deployment zone. I wasn't worried about being shot at. He's got Angelus bolt guns, and that's kind of it, so who cares? Mm-hmm. And then turn 1 and 2, knowing that he probably didn't want to come out of the box until he was in assault dog. I basically spread out and gave him a front line. A knight with a 5-up rotated, and a knight with a armor save, so I've got some save. Yeah. I'm protecting my biggest asset, which is the guy with Endless Fury and headsman reroll 1s to hit.
Sure, the first knight.
I also kept both of my knights just over 26 inches away from his L-shaped ruin. So that even if he just ran the Death Company out at me and tried to do the big charge with +2 from his chaplain, which like a lot of Marine players kept forgetting to roll at the start of their turn, start of the battle round rather.
I will say that I forget as well. Sometimes I remember.
I think everyone does, but you just got to get that one down. Must know.
It's important.
So he couldn't declare a charge, and every single time he got to his movement phase, if he stood there with a tape mission. And when Steve gets stressed, I didn't know this.
Does he just do press ups?
No, it's a bit weird.
Oh, spoilers! Vanguard Tactics fans about to rage in a second. You talk about Lord Steve Box?
Just wait; they'll appreciate this. You know how really muscled guys can do like the titty dance and make their pecs jiggle. His left pec has an intermittent twitch when he gets a bit like hyper focused. And the first time it happened, I didn't think anything of it, and then it kept happening, trying to intimidate me or arouse me. And I didn't think like. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for broken mic. Sorry for all of your ears that just got absolutely destroyed.
I don't have a key for muting, so.
Well, yeah.
Are you telling me he distracts you with his nipple to try and throw you off because he's stressed? Look into
he's
the
a
nipple.
Blood angel. They've all got nipple armor, right?
Look, I'm losing the game, so look into my nipple, not around the nipple, right into the nipple.
So it just in the middle. It just like
trying to psych you out.
Anyway, turn 3 happened. He's in the assault doctrine. This is what.
How is his nipple at this point, by the way?
Probably still in the same place, but maybe occasionally to the water centre. No, Mikey's dead. He's actually ruined.
I'm done. I'm gonna have to shake his hand and be like, "Chill out, bro." I love Steve. I think he's a great guy. He's super nice.
He really is.
He's super duper.
One of the
nice,
best opponents I had.
Man.
But yeah, that was a weird one. It's one of those subconscious.
Did you point it out?
No,
you think he knows?
After the game, his mate, and he does the same thing. He's got a twitch with his eyebrow, and
I feel like we're just bullying him now. Be careful.
I am. This is all in good nature. And he said, Jay noticed my twitch, and his mate said, "Oh, when he gets really stressed, his pec twitches as well." I noticed. That was weird.
As long as his mate pointed it out as well, like Jesus Christ! Oh my God! Oh, mate.
Anyway, long story short, 2 epic moments in the game. Turn 3, Sanguinary Guard come down. The Blood Angels, Death Company do the old jump up into the sky and then come down, and then the charges began. First charge of Sanguinary Guard goes off.
Yeah.
And the Overwatch pops off. Thermal cannon vaporizes one. Gatling gun kills 2 more. They've got a 5-up feel no pain and a 2-up armor save at this point, and they're just dying. And he stood there like, I don't know what's going on.
Bet his nipples are crazy right now. Like, oh my God! Dong, 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 dong.
I hope you guys can watch this back on the video because Mikey is just dying in his chair.
Don't,
the first unit.
What do you mean? Roll the double one for the charge. It made his nip.
He failed his
just
charge.
Flew away. Just flies off his chest.
Oh well. No, he's dead.
Sorry, go on. So I'm listening. I'm concentrating. Everyone, sorry about
that. So
it's not what I thought we'd be talking about this evening. I won't lie, but there you go.
Then he charged the next unit. I killed another one in Overwatch.
Okay.
But they did make the charge.
Okay. Oof.
And then it went downhill because the Death Company went in as well. And so then it was going to be the beginning of the end. Death Company at that stage have somehow 6 attacks each.
Yeah, so it's a combination of they have like 2 attacks base, plus 1 for charging, plus 1 because of... so
I think it's 1 attack on the profile, 1 for being Death Company, 1 for charging and being Death Company,
Oh, did
1
they
for
have change?
charging because you're a Space Marine.
Yeah.
This is just a Thunderhammer, guys. It's 6 attacks each.
Yeah, so they have 5 on the charge
Then
normally. Then Savage Echoes, which is their Assault Doctrine benefit.
That could have been it, yeah.
So
there was loads
attack.
of just extra things. So these 4 guys with Thunder absolutely kneecap that night. He was gone.
Time.
Boom. Done. Speaking of boom and done, though.
Oh, Tom just said Steven should play Tyrann Nipson rather than Marines.
Oh.
The Hive Nipper rules all. Don't.
It's fun. This is a professional podcast, everybody.
So the night blew up.
I paid my KCP. And he's looking at me and he's like, don't do it. It's a 4. Kaboom! Murder in Sanguinary Guard, murder in the Death Company.
Oh, brilliant.
It was only a small explosion, unfortunately.
Okay.
But my God.
Oh, mate.
And that was basically game. There was not enough to dispatch the horde of Blood Angels. And I certainly couldn't deal with the characters as well. I got mopped up. Brilliant game. Loads of fun. I made him sweat so hard getting that victory. But what an awesome... Mikey, you're broken, aren't you?
Master Arcade said he should play Centurion so the Hurricane Bolters display the fury of his chest. Fuck me.
That was the end of my event. I ended up placing 21st after that.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not what I wanted. But with Pure Knights in the current meta, and I played Iron Hands, Blood Angels, 2 Tau players, and Raven Guard.
You didn't exactly play any slouch of an army.
Yeah.
Like another
the
Knight
Custode
player.
one was a little bit obviously, coloured by the fact that John was absolutely shattered, and so that's a different story entirely. But I had a hard road to get to where I got, and it was a great event. Really enjoyed it.
Well done.
Happy enough.
Top quarter. It would have been top 20%, but you snoozed into 21st.
That's right. I got the same number of points as 20th, but a different strength of schedule or something.
Right. Okay, that's a shame.
Just missed the top 20. Never mind.
Done, mate.
Never mind.
However, you didn't come home empty-handed.
No, I did not. My God. I need arms like Steve's to carry the prize. So, the event was sponsored by Foreground, who produced some epic terrain. I spent some of today putting some together. So here's one of the ruins.
We'll make Jay double and big. That did
double
not work.
and big. That didn't work.
Did not work.
It's like,
this is what Jay won.
That's the prize. This is a very cool trophy. It's a Tau skull with a bullet hole in it. That was it. Best painted army, best army they put it down as, but basically best painted army.
Mm-hmm.
Over the moon with that. As part of the prize, they gave me a full set of this foreground terrain. I've got 4 ruins and some buildings and stuff. All of this is just come straight out of the box and been put together exactly like this.
It's MDF, right?
Stuff. It's all MDF, apart from the actually legit stained glass windows.
Sadly, it's really pixelated. Oh, there you go. It came through.
So, my God, that's some amazing.
Nice, dude. That's awesome. That's really cool. So, you did really well. I'm proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Of you. 4-2 with Pure Knights, which is nothing to be sniffed at. We're actually going to be speaking about someone who's popped into the chat. Hey, Vic, how you doing? Congratulations on winning the Beachhead Brawl this weekend. Congrats, dude. That's
big congrats, man.
Really good of you. Really cool. So, congrats to you, Jay. Best Army, 21st, 4-2. Pure Knights. What are you thinking of staying with Pure Knights? Are you going to be changing to something else, or?
So, I've said it a couple of times. I will be buying a Tau army with. I'm thinking probably going to go Farsight, extra commander.
Yeah.
Because they're cool. Riptides because they're big robots, basically.
They are super duper cool robots.
Favorite thing. So probably going to be moving to Tau. I have got to bolster my my knights, but it was a big event, 6 games with a load of players there. So great way to get some ITC points. I earned 157 points for coming 21st.
Wow.
I think I got, for winning Hellstorm 3, I think I got some 210.
Yeah.
So that's just the extra game, and
it's the extra game.
The extra amount of players is massive.
Yeah, it's the extra game that makes a humongous difference.
Yeah.
Because you'll find that like a major will around 60 or to 100 will produce roughly the similar amount of points. Obviously, you get more for 100 man, but they produce a similar amount of points. But that extra game is like a huge difference.
Yeah.
It's also why we've moved to 6 as well, because you have a true winner, but also it's just worth more in the ITC. And there's not many 6-round events in the UK anyway. There's currently really 3, I believe. I think it's Beachhead, NEO, and then ours.
And of course the LGT.
Well, that was that. Is that 6-round this year? Because it was 5-round last year.
Oh God, was it? I actually don't know because I was indisposed.
You were trying out the facilities, weren't you, Jay?
I tested them to their absolute limit.
Yeah, so that was only 5-round. I don't really know what the plan is for this year, so
fair.
There you go.
Well, hopefully 6 then. But yeah, if there's only 3, then we need more. So I'm glad you guys have moved to 6.
Yeah.
But you're right, you do get an absolute winner. And speaking of absolute winner,
hi Vic.
Huge congrats to Vic, who's got a very, very nicely painted army.
Yeah, there you go. Class Hammer is 6, but it's a small. Currently, hopefully they sell more tickets, but it's currently quite a small event.
Yes,
but they are 6-round as well. So Vic is in the chat. He won the Beachhead Brawl, the 92-man event, with this army. It is Iron Hands, pure Iron Hands.
Yes,
and it
real
is,
Iron Hands.
Not to sour his army list choice as well, but it is very similar to the Warhammer list that recently won the LGT, but with some modifications.
Yes, and there are some
think some
important
ones.
modifications.
Yeah. So that if you've seen that list with the Leviathan, the Chaplain Dreadnoughts, it is similar, but we'll talk about the changes now.
Yeah. So I can go through Vic's list if people. That's the wrong button entirely. Okay, well, we'll just have to scroll through. BCP now.
Copied with extreme shame, he says. It is different though. So you have taken the thing is you like my opinion. Totally just my opinion. You can copy a list, but if you copy it and change it, I feel like it's not as bad as just straight up copying it.
Yeah, there's only so many permutations of units.
Even if you're making it better or making it worse, like if you're not just straight copying it and you are making it your own, then at least it's your own. So
yeah,
I presume you made it your own though because you didn't have all the units. That's the question.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, I spoke to Vic Magic because I was too tired at the event to try and get an.
Mm-hmm.
But the list is a Chaplain Venerable Dreadnought with twin las cannon and normal close combat weapon.
Yeah.
The Primaris Captain with Massacre Stalk bolt rifle, a Apothecary who is the Warlord and is the Chief Apothecary. So that's a major part of this list. And normally, as soon as you see that, you see somewhere in the region of 50 to 70 intercessors. But in this case, there are 2 units of 5, a unit of 10, all of which had Thunder Hammers with the Sergeant, apart from the unit of 10, which had a Power Fist.
Mm-hmm.
2 Impulsors with the Shield Domes.
Mm-hmm. So
What's a Shield Dome do, Mikey?
It's a 4+ invulnerable save.
That's pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, really big. Then we had Ferios, a Lieutenant with the Iron Stone. Pretty standard.
Yeah.
Stalker Bolt Rifle. 2 units of 5 Intercessors. Silence Readers Chainswords. Unit of Scouts. And a Spearhead with a Chaplain. And 3 units of Eliminators with Relic Leviathan. So, pretty solid list right there. The Impulsors add quite a lot to it.
Yeah.
So I did ask Vic about them. Go on.
I was going to say the Impulsors add a lot of movement to the list because it is a bit of a block castle, so they can like kind of screen out initially in certain matchups, especially with things like Grey Knights and stuff back in the meta since the LVO. Sorry, so they can be acted as a screen out, but they're also really fast. They can transport 5 dudes, so you can like hide stuff in there if you need to.
Yeah.
You can move and then disembark and then charge, which is quite good.
It's crazy good.
I believe that's right. Maybe you can at least move and disembark.
You can move and disembark. You can't charge. Actually.
Okay, my apologies. But yeah, you just get a lot of movement out of them. Because I mean, you deploy on the front line. You deploy 5 intercessors in Impulsor, and he's on the front line. You disembark 3, but then only the back of the base has to move in 3. So you actually disembark 4. So you essentially move about 10 inches from the starting line, which is really far. And obviously,
it's enormous.
You got Chaplain Dreadnoughts, which are just horrendous because the characters with twin las cannons and then they punch and they're horrendous. You got Leviathan, who's going to have a Warlord trait, and it's going to be 5+ Feel No Pain, or it's going to be Father of the Future. Not Father of the Future, Student of History. So you can
the actual opposite of Father of the Future. So.
Yeah, but then you also have the Father of the Future, the Chief Apothecary, who's like...
Yeah.
Because I've got a computer in my head, I know that you're going to take wounds in a second, so here's a 5 Feel No Pain. It's going to take Vox Expiriton to make it 9 inches. So then Pharos gives all infantry a 5+ Fear Invuln if they're within 6. And then you've got Walking Plague Bearers with an armor save, 2 wounds, and a Stalker Bolt Rifle that rerolls to hit most of the time.
It is a crazily durable list.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there was one list that Vic told me he didn't fancy facing. And big shout out to Phil Barfoot, who's in the chat here.
Hi, Phil.
Unfortunately, he did end up having to take this match. Triple Lord of Skulls in that list.
Yeah.
So I'm absolutely giving my hats off to you. Big robots is my big thing. So great for you. Played Vic in round 2 and did take the loss to Vic. Yeah. But my God, that's a crazy, crazy good list. Loving that.
Yeah, it's just so resilient, and like everyone's talked about it all day. I mean, again, you've got the changes with the eliminators being able to take out characters. You've got the impulses for movement, but the idea of the list is the same. It's a Leviathan that protects all the characters and it pretty much can't be killed because you half damage it, you ironstone it, you have a 5-up feel no pain, and then a 2-up you pass it to another infantry unit, like the intercessors or Pharos himself, as we saw in the "I've activated my trap card, nothing happens from now on" Brawlhammer style. Full Greamer, thank you very much for follow. Where you have Pharos with 7 wounds stood behind him, like, "I will protect you, Mr. Leviathan. I will protect you."
And then Pharos just heals him. So.
And then as soon as Pharos is nearly dead, you tank it on the Leviathan a bit more, and then you heal the Leviathan twice, and then you heal Pharos twice, and you're just like
with the apothecary.
It's
crazy.
It's like the very old what's his name? Oh, the comedian who did the Hobnob and the Biscuit sketch. Oh, that's gonna bug me.
Eddie Izzard.
Not Eddie Izzard. Was it?
He did.
Was it Johnny Vegas?
Playing for him.
Not Johnny Vegas. It might have been Johnny Vegas. Where he's getting the Hobnob and he's talking all about all the different biscuits being dipped in a cup of tea, and he's like a digestive, just a rich tea's like once, and it's like, "Oh no more," and the Hobnob you dip it once, and it's like, "It's Peter K. Thank you, Adam. Thank you very much. Evil Beard just subscribed. Thank you very much," because he wants to hear this sketch. It's like Hobnob. You dip it once, and it's like, "Again, dip it. Again, dip it. Again." That's basically what the Brawlhammer list does. It's just the Hobnob being dipped in tea.
Brilliant. There we go. We've now got our food review, but it's done in list form.
Thank you very much, guys. It's Peter K, not Johnny Vegas. Two very...
So, yeah.
Yeah, well. Well, there you go. So that's Vic. So congrats to you, dude. Congrats for winning it. That's really cool. Did he have some words? Anything else to add about the list?
He did have some words. So his toughest matchup was against Malik in the final rounds. Extremely accomplished player.
Mm-hmm.
In Vic's own words, against Malik and the ridiculous fists, he was ahead right from the start with a ridiculous amount of magic box on the table. There were 2 very big magic boxes right in the middle, and there was another one on the left-hand side. So not everyone's favourite bit of terrain. But by getting first turn, chucking an Assault Centurion and a Smash Chaplain in one of the middle magic boxes, you just got great ground position.
Yeah.
Basically controls the board from that point. It's very difficult to do anything. Vic says he lost his interest quite fast. He was just about keeping up points. On turn 5, he gave me a blessing by getting greedy with his eliminators and going for direct shots. I picked them up with Leviathan and got hold more, kill more, bonus, and denied him a kill at all. Swing the game for me to win by a point.
Wow. Wowza. 1 point. Malik,
nice work.
You greedy son. That's the thing. That's where the lists where you've got Vic, who's a very accomplished player, but you got Malik, who is also a very accomplished player, using 2 horrific lists, and it just all comes down to who makes the first mistake and who can jump on it.
It's the hammer and the anvil right there, man.
Yeah, exactly. You see that mistake, you dive straight on it if you can, without making a mistake yourself. And that's how it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like tournaments, they're always going to have bullshit armies that are just absolutely insane. But when you get 2 that like bump heads like that, it's whoever makes the first mistake. It's nothing to do with the list. It's all about the player.
That's right. Who blinks first?
Yeah, exactly.
So there we go. That's a pretty comprehensive roundup of and Vic's list as well. Again, massive congrats to Vic. Nice to see someone. Vic works about 20 minutes.
Brilliant.
Guy, absolutely smashing it as well. So again, big thumbs up.
Fair play, Vic. Congrats. He's a really, really nice dude. He's a premium sub as well, so thank you very much for your support, man. So having such a strong player support the channel, unlike Jay, who's just mediocre. I'm kidding.
You literally have my best player in somewhere. That's it.
I love you, Jay. I can't leave without being able to hear all the insults. So. But there you go. So what sounds like a fantastic weekend. I was away in London with my lovely girlfriend this weekend celebrating our anniversary, so I couldn't make it, sadly. But hopefully I'll be able to make the next one, because it does look like I missed out on a good one.
It's a belter, mate.
But yeah, so congrats to Adam and the 40k Brawl guys for running a great event. Hopefully they can only improve and get bigger and better and dominate the south coast of ITC. Should be really cool. So congrats to those
Let's get
guys.
more in the South.
Yeah.
The South shall rise again.
No.
No? Okay.
No. So there you go, guys. That is the end of the main subject. Sadly, because Jay was away and I was away this weekend, we didn't do any premium questions. So if anyone's got any questions now, then do shout up. If you've got anything about 40k you want to chat about, anything about the event or about any other event or anything that you think we could answer. But there we go. We'll start off with a good one. But I will just say thank you, Adam. I'd love to come down. Can't wait. One of the best tournaments I've ever been to, if not the best. Well done, Adam. There you go. So if that is not praise from Vic, who just won, then
that's a good praise.
What else could be praise? I'm going to read the first question first and then the second one. Bit of a curious question. That stratagem in the new book for tank aces to make a tank ace, even if it's not your warlord, how many times can you take that? I
imagine
I can't reach the book.
Do they have a stratagem to get an extra warlord trait? Because I imagine twice if they do, once if they don't.
Okay, one second. I'll just unplug my earphones. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, that's working.
Hello there.
I haven't actually read the Imperial Guard because I haven't filmed the review yet.
It says once per battle is potentially an answer for that. Okay, so that's that. That's good.
Wait. Okay. That's the Coronation theme tune. I shouldn't sing that. Okay, so instead of taking a warlord trait, you can take a tank ace. And
cool.
Then there's a tank ace stratagem to take another tank ace.
Cool. So 2.
Yeah. If an Astra Militarum character is your warlord, rather than determining a warlord trait for that model, instead you can select one tank ace ability for an Astra Militarum vehicle from your army. Yada 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 yada. Then tank ace lets you do the same. So 2. 2 is the answer.
Good stuff.
How do you plan to train your nipples? I'm going to speak to Steve Box, to be honest.
And you can sign up for his training service.
If his next podcast or training advertisement isn't about how to distract your opponent using your nipples only, then I'll be very, very disappointed. Have you seen the video on YouTube about the guy from Bolton? No, I haven't. What video is that, dude?
I haven't either.
It's very vague. What guy from Bolton? What was he doing?
Yeah. Can we talk about this?
Yeah. Amazing tournament, my first ITC from Phil. There you go. Who calls Babe Station to talk biscuits? I have seen that, yeah, a very long time ago. He phones up Babe Station and starts talking about different biscuit types.
Oh, right, okay.
Going back to the Hobnob Brawhammer list.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to call it. The Hobnob list. What do you mean the Hobnob list? Yeah, the Brawhammer one. What? Again! Do you think Grey Knight's changes with Ritual of the Damned will affect the meta at all? Well, we saw Mr. Baker
Grey Knights came second.
Yeah, Mr. Baker finally coming out of, let's say, retirement to be like, I'm still playing Grey Knights and they're really bad. When they're not. And it's like, oh my god, he came second. It's like...
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough.
So
no offense, Lawrence. He's a very good player and they're a very hard army to play. But god damn, they are so good now. Of course they're going to come second with a good player.
I did have a little bit of a fanboy at the weekend. So I was at a table next to Lawrence and I was talking to the guy at that table. I sort of caught Lawrence's eye, sort of said hi, and the first words out of his mouth were, "I really love your Instagram." I'm like,
"Oh, Lawrence! Oh, thank you,
Lawrence!" But yeah, he played really, really well. He played James Pilkington, who beat me with the Raven Guard Centurion spam.
Yeah,
so that must have been a pretty hard fought game.
Yeah.
As his final.
Sorry, go on.
Go on.
No, go on.
Okay, fine. I'll lose the polite off. His final round was against the Possessed Bomb, and I heard at some point during the first sort of second or third turn of my game, all I heard that side of me was, "Should we just talk out the rest of the turns?" I thought, that's something not going very well down there, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like with the Grey Knights and the Smites and the Tide, like the things that you protect the possessed bomb with our demons, and Grey Knights don't like demons.
They just shred them.
3
Everything
smites
dies.
on a 4 on 2d6 can kill a disco lord at -4 because it doesn't matter what minus it is, it's smite.
Yeah.
And then you just bolter the possessed, just like.
Yeah.
We've got 2 wounds,
It's
but okay.
Crazy.
If you want to be funny, you can use the side bolt ammunition and then astral aim and then the stratagem or something like. So it's like she's strength 6 -2 and 2 damage, ignoring line of sight, and ignoring cover. It's like, okay, roll 5 up. If not, you're dead. Oh yeah, I've got like 80 shots or 40 shots or something daft. So yeah, fair play. Fair play to him.
They're a weapon.
Yeah. If you only hit chaos and Grey Knights, you're laughing. But if it's when you hit like a really hard list, like for example, like Vic's list or something like that, then it
remember
might struggle a little bit.
Did play Raven Guard Sense Spam and smash that as well.
Yeah.
So can't take anything away from the guy with that whatsoever.
No.
Great guy, great player. Came away with second.
Yep.
That's pretty major.
Mm-hmm.
And in third place, actually, was one of my favourite people ever. The amazing Simon Miller who got to third with Wolfen.
Yeah, he's
Wolfen
still smashing
spam.
It. He keeps podiing him with Wolfen.
Yeah.
It's just like, you absolute legend. Just a little bit longer to go, bro.
The head of people. All he's got to do is not hit a Thunderfire cannon, and he's okay. He actually did play Malik, and Malik seized. And that was was basically it. Because if he hadn't, the Wolfen would have ran up the table. There was a unit of suppressors right at the very, very edge of Mike's deployment zone. Simon told me that as soon as he placed them there, he said, "You do know I charged them turn 1." And he went, "Yeah, that's fine. It's okay." What he didn't think of was Simon knew he was going to charge those turn 1, kill them, fight twice, consolidate and pile in, tag some stuff, and be an inch away, if not, from the rest of his stuff. Which means you've got to kill 3 units of wolf on that turn.
Yeah.
Even if you slow their movement and slow their charges,
you're still not good at it.
Dead.
You're still not
but as soon as Malik seized, the dream was dead for Sai.
Yeah.
Tremor shells and a Thunderfire cannon, that's that.
Yeah. I just stand a little bit further away than I need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair play. Because he's got like 3 Invicta war suits, 3 Scorpius disintegrators, which are the AdMech indirect shooters, and then 30 Wolf and just like banter. Like, fair play.
So in your face. I love the list.
To the guy. It's a first turn army by far against, unless you're playing like a less optimized list, then it's like, okay, I can deal with that. But it's just
I played him at Hellstorm 4. 4.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe the last one.
And it was a brilliant game. Fortunately for me, it was end-to-end. And I backlined with the Knights. We just kept shelling and hoping for the best, and eventually managed to get the win out of it. But God, it's a brilliant list.
Yeah,
I love it.
Fair play. Can that strat be used more than once? No, it's once per battle, matey. Anyone going to Winter Warfare this weekend? Where's that? No, never heard of it, I'm afraid.
No, I'm going to do Glasshammer this weekend.
Yeah, and I'm going to Into the Hellstorm RTT, which is my event, and I'm playing in it. I don't get to play my own events very often, so I like to play in the RTTs because it means I can practice stuff. It doesn't make a major difference if I win because it's not like I've just won my own ITC major, and also it means like people get to play. Me and Dan usually play them, so which is fun.
I think as well, a lot of people would quite like to give you a game as well.
Yeah, exactly, and it makes it so that can happen. So it means because like in a 1-day event, like you stood around for a few hours, and then you get lunch, and then you stood around for a few hours. So it means I get to just play, and because there's not as many people there, it means I can TO at the same time. So
yeah, true.
It's London Wargaming in Shepherd's Bush, 80-man ITC. Well, good luck with that. That's good. 80 man's pretty good. How many rounds though? Is it 5?
That's what it's all about now, right?
That's it. First question of our event criteria: is it 6 rounds? No. Okay, we don't care. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Might try and convince my girlfriend to come to Glasshammer this weekend. Nice. Yeah, it should be a good event. Manny and the guys are really good. Manny's an absolute legend, but after sharing a bed with him for nearly a week, yeah, it's absolute legend. There you go.
So if you come to Glasshammer, I'll quite happily give you a practice game.
Yeah, if on a monster match,
for sure.
Well, I'd
Big time.
Robot, like Mecha Godzilla versus
It's Robot Wars, man.
Mecha Godzilla 2.
Quality.
It'd be like King Ghidorah versus Godzilla. That'd be really cool.
King Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah. He's the three-headed dragon from Godzilla.
I know. And I know Mothra.
Yeah, but
King Kong, and that's kind of it.
Yeah. Can't wait for. I love Godzilla. I can't wait for the new movie. I've seen the new one 3 times. I went to the cinema to watch it with George, and then I've seen it a few more times after that. I absolutely love that movie. Mikey, was money or you the big spoon? Depends what we fancied, Depends how we'd spent the late exercise before the night before. So there you go. That's the end of the podcast. So thank you very much for listening, everyone. Right there. Thanks for listening, everyone. I hope you had a great time.
Talking about, let's say, Richard, and ended up talking about, let's say, Richard.
Thank you very much for listening, everyone. I want to thank you very much for tuning in live. If you did, if you're listening back on the normal podcast on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, Podbean, website, stolen Russian content, then really, really appreciate it because it does happen. Adam, that'd be really cool, man. If you can make it, that'd be amazing. If you want to support the podcast, I'm looking for my agenda because I haven't even got the agenda open. That's how terrible I've been today.
Right.
If you want to support the podcast, then you can tune in to hellstormwargaming.co.uk, which is our primary platform for supporting Hellstorm Wargaming and everything we do. You can also support on patreon.com/hellstormwargaming. The other ways you can also support Jay directly on his Twitch streams, which are Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays.
Nailed it.
I'm getting so good at this, Jay. But this is like the 6th podcast we've done together. I've finally got it right.
Absolutely. It's almost like professionalism.
Almost. We were talking about bouncing nipples earlier, so there you go.
I was waiting for that.
So you can support him on twitch.tv/Mohawk Miniatures. Go and tune in live and watch him paint some awesome stuff with his airbrush and sometimes a paintbrush.
You could also learn how to paint Best Army!
There we go. There you go.
One more time.
Yeah, you can win your own award unless Jay is there. Then he'll smack you down with his superior
the student will
airbrushing.
have become the master.
The student of history will become the father of the future.
Yes. There we go.
Otherwise, tell your friends about it. Tell them to tune in live. We'll be live next Monday, where we'll be talking about Jay's time at Glasshammer, my time at the Hellstorm RTT. Some of the shiny shenanigans that may happen between now and then. We don't know.
Could be anything.
However, the weekend after, which will be before not this podcast coming, the one after, me, Jay, and Elliot will be at the Prague Opens because we'll be live streaming their event.
Gonna be epic!
It is going to be epic. It's going to be really good. So we're going to be talking from Prague, which is Game Mat's premier event. They've got, I think someone pointed out, it was an 80-man event that they're actually running that we're covering because we're covering the signals, but there's also a team event, there's also a narrative event, so there's quite a few players, yes, which is really cool. If you want to support the live coverage, then we do currently have a GoFundMe, which should be in the description somewhere. I don't think I actually ever put it in the description, but there you go. It'll be somewhere. Check on Facebook. We're trying to get a new expensive camera so we can do zooms and swishes and stuff. So there you go. Robot cam, yeah. It's called a PTZ cam, which stands for Pan Tilt Zoom, and you can connect it to an Xbox controller to move it with the joysticks. How cool does that sound?
So would play with that.
Yeah, so you have a left stick to move it left and right and up and down, and then you have the right stick to zoom in and stuff. So, which means when we have pretty models on stream, we'll be able to show you pretty models rather than just like, oh, they look really good. They're just made up of 6 pixels right now because we're using a webcam.
Absolutely. Or alternatively, if your opponent is particularly...
Sadly, we missed the punchline because of the data packet issue. I just saw Jay look at me like this and like, yeah. How does the GoFundMe going? It's actually up to like 280 quid, I think, which is amazing. So I want to thank everyone who's supported the GoFundMe so far. Obviously, we are quite away from the goal of 1,800, but I'm just going to keep pushing it. I'm going to put my own money in there. I'm selling loads. I've basically been organising all my to-do piles, which is just boxes of Warhammer that's not going to do anything with. And then I'm just going to sell loads of that, which would be really good. So have a bit of a clear out and hopefully put it to something good. So otherwise, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Jay. You've been amazing.
Thank you, man.
Thank
you.
Good. Thank you, everyone in the chat who's been really chatty. Thank you. I'll do a special thank you to Moon Tyranid, who was quoting every extreme event or key event that happened in Twitch Plays Pokemon for most of it, which was not only cool, but also probably bumped us up in the Twitch algorithm because there's lots of people chatting. So,
nice.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.